Hey guys, it's Francine Simone, and I'm here today with kind of a requested update. I've gotten a lot of questions about my editing services, and I've been mentioning to people that I'd make a video about it, so I'm finally doing that. So for those of you new to my channel, or for those of you who just don't know in general, because I guess I don't really talk about it on this channel, is I do developmental editing. So while I've been on my hiatus, I've been focusing on work, which is a few of my developmental editing projects, and that's essentially been it, that and surviving. I am a developmental editor. That means I focus on the content of a book. So I look at the character, the plot, the world, and the writing consistency, the tone consistency with the book to help the writer make sure that everything is competent and coherent. As you guys know with all my other videos, unless you're new, hi, I am all about authenticity, 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 and quality, quality, quality. In fact, I don't think there is a video that I've made where I haven't said the word authenticity. So that's what I focus on as a developmental editor. I know for most writers, this is the hardest part of writing a book. This is the part where you work on your character development, whether you have flat characters or side characters or normal characters with bad representation, or just in general, whether your characters make sense, whether your plot makes sense, whether the world or the culture makes sense. A lot of worlds lack cultural nuances that our worlds have. So those are the things that I look at. And also, as you guys know, I'm a really objective reader, especially when I analyze a text for problems or for consistency and coherency. But though I am objective, I do have subjective preferences with what kind of manuscripts I work with. So I'm going to get into that. First, I'm going to let you guys know what my services are as a developmental editor, and then what stuff I work with. So first and foremost, I do sample edits. It's $1 per page up to 10 pages. So if you send me 10 pages, it's like $10, and I can give you a sample of what it's like to work with me, what I do, exactly how I do everything, what I look at, what my in-depth comments are like. Because not only do I talk about something that is a problem in the story or something that is an issue, I like to go in depth and talk about how we fix that issues, how to avoid issues like that in the future, how it affects the work as we go throughout. So it's not just here's a problem, fix it. It's this is why it's a problem, and this is how it affects things and why we need to fix it. That way the writer can grow with every project that they do, because I know that's really hard as well when you don't have people tell you why something's a problem. That's half of beta reading. You send it out to a beta reader, they tell you something's a problem, now you have to figure out why. So that's my job, show you the problem and tell you why it's a problem. So you're going to get all of that with the sample edits, and generally in about 10 pages I can tell you major issues that will develop later on in your stories based on your writing and your writing pattern. So now my first package. My first package is only for manuscripts that have already been revised to the best ability of the writer. This means it is not your first draft. It's not even your second draft. It means you might have even sent it out to beta readers to read and get feedback from. You've sent it to other people. You've looked at it. You've worked on it. You worked on it a lot, and you are honestly at your wit's end. This is the end of what you can do. Then you send it to me. This is the first package. So I will do a detailed critique of your entire manuscript. I go from the very beginning all the way to the end. It takes me about 8 to 10 weeks to do. And when I'm done, I send it back to you, and you take all the time you need in the world. I mean, like, hopefully it doesn't take you 30 years, but you take all the time you need in the world to revise, go over everything I said, rework your manuscript, and get it back to me. And then I will do it one more time where we go over everything. If you had hotspot concerns in your manuscript at this point where you're trying to fix things, but some things are unraveling or falling apart, this is where we fix those, and we look at that and we really go in depth deep into it. This will take me another 8 to 10 weeks. Depends on how long your manuscript is and the depth of the work that I actually have to do on it. So as I mentioned a little bit earlier before, I'm looking at authenticity, a consistent tone, and your writing style. So how do those mesh in your work? How do they blend together, whether they're developed or not? And if it's the same consistency throughout from the beginning of the book to the end of the book. After that second round of edits, we're also going to talk about your marketability. We'll collaborate on a query and a synopsis for your story. Now with marketability, marketing your book, especially to agents and editors, is a lot different than just writing the book or knowing what your book is about. It's knowing how it fits in the marketplace. And so that means how you package it when you send it out to other people. Getting those taglines together, getting the essence of your story down packed, getting the basic overall emphasis on what your story brings to the table that the genre doesn't already have. So the price of this package is 3 cents per word, up to 90,000 words. If your manuscript is over 90,000 words, the price is subject to change at that point because it's a lot more work. But if it is below or at 90,000, 3 cents per word. Now the second package is a little bit more expensive, but it differs in these two fundamental ways from the first package. In the second package, you can send me your first draft. I will work with you from first draft / conception all the way until you are ready to publish your book. That means we do the first 2 rounds of revision and anything after that that's needed. If you're constantly revising and sending it back to me, that is okay. I will work with you for the lifetime of your project. Now that obviously is a lot more time consuming, so that is 4.5 cents per word up to 90,000 words. Anything more than that, price is subject to change, so go ahead and give me an email, talk to me about your project, and I can quote you a price at that time. So those are the 2 packages that I offer and essentially how I work on projects. Now I'm going to talk about my subjective interest for a minute. So overall, I take middle grade, young adult. However, in young adult, contemporary young adult is subject to my high interest. I'm sorry to say, but that is really a niche subject for me. It has to be like kind of quirky or extremely funny or humorous for me to take contemporary. So if you have those elements in your contemporary, you can shoot it to me and I'll let you know from there. I do fantasy, science fiction, urban fantasy, and paranormal. And last but not least, I also do work on non-contemporary erotic romance. Now, everything within that genre that I do is still subject to my approval because you know what? I have to really love a project or the idea of a project before I can work on it. The last thing you want is someone editing your work who's not interested in your story. So I only pick stories that I love and that I really connect with. That way I can give my all and my passion into it. I can work on it whether I'm sick. I can work on it whether I'm pregnant and really gassy. And love what I'm doing. So you always get my best work possible. But the only way to find out whether we would make a good team is to go ahead and get in contact with me. So guys, you can find me anywhere. I'm obviously on YouTube. I'm also on Twitter, and I will leave my email down below that is specifically for sending me editing queries. Yes, francinaedits@francina.com. And I also put it down below. But when you email me, please, in the subject of your email, put editing query in the title of your work. But please put editing query because, guys, I get a lot of stuff in my mailboxes all the time, and I know to look at that right away versus like anything else that I've got going on. So I will look at that right away if you put editing query and the title of your work. In the body of the email, please include the title of your work, the genre, the word count is very important, and the stage of your manuscript, whether it's a first draft or it's a revised draft. Also, you can include the package that you're interested in, whether that's package number 1 for a revised draft at 3 cents per word, or whether you're interested in, like conception all the way to birth. Wow. I got real pregnant there, didn't it? And then, of course, most important, please give me a brief summary of your story. Include things that are passionate and really important to you, interesting things that are going on. Please try not to be vague. If you're vague, I'm going to be like, boo. Don't be vague. Don't be like, oh, I can't tell her what happens at the end. Like, I need to know all of that beforehand. So just give me a nice, good summary of what happens in your story, from beginning, middle issues, how it's resolved and end, and how it ends. Guys, for me to be in love and to really work with a great story, I don't need surprises. Rarely do I get surprised anymore anyways. So please, give me all of that so I can make the best decision and get back to you as quickly as possible. So guys, I know I've covered all the questions that I've been asked to go over. A lot of that stuff is on my website, www.francinasimone.com. A lot of that stuff is there if you need to be able to read something in fine print. I am happy to answer any questions that you have at any point in time, and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible, if not that same day, by the next day. Also, Twitter, you know where to find me, guys. Oh, but I do want to say I'm almost at like 5,000 subscribers now, and I don't know where all you new people came from, but I am so glad to see you. Hey, Cha, how you doing? Thank you for joining me on this special day. If you didn't know, now you know. My name is Francina Simone, and I've been kind of MIA lately because I'm pregnant. That's why I'm wearing black right now. Makes me thin like Vogue. No, I'm just kidding. I'm huge right now, and don't ask for pictures. Don't ask to see how huge I am. But anyways, welcome guys. I hope that you enjoy my channel. Really glad to have you, and thank you everybody else for sticking around for so long, especially since I've been busy, really busy lately. I promise to be less busy. I promise to read more books. In fact, I do have a review coming up soon. I think I'm going to do a video next month on subscription boxes. I have to pay for one, and I also have to pay taxes. So it might be a little bit after February, or it might be towards the end of February when a bitch got some money. But please do look forward to that. I'm really excited to like kind of do a showcase. If you guys know of any diversity boxes that you want me to showcase in that video or anything, leave some in the comments down below. Because I really do want to showcase a lot of the great work that people are doing for diversity. Yes. But that's it, guys. Any questions you got for me, random questions or whatever, just be kind always in the comments. Leave them down below. I do read every comment. Sometimes I don't comment back. I've been busy. I've said that 1,000 times. I'm going to stop saying that because now it sounds like an excuse. I love you guys. See you too. I'll start for now. Bye. Bye.